pero Bo Nix is especial.
Yes, he is. And we are counting down our days to training camp. It's DMac's Mac. We'll get to the World Cup. The Rockies lose, but Hunter Goodman wins. The Nuggets wrap up Summer League. And a dude sets a crazy record that is nuts. All still to come. We're brought to you by our great friends at Journey Spice, where you can save yourself 10% using the code OFFSEASON26. No salt, no sugar. It's organic. It's delicious. It goes on every single meal we make here in the old DMac household with Cat Cave doing most of the preparation. But we love Journey Spice, and you can save yourself 10%. Andon and Rosa have created this amazing company that we can't get enough of, with incredible packaging that's so easy to use, where you just pinch the top, comes off, put it on. Look, you can see the ingredients. It's in the amazing packaging. You put it back on. You say, my life is better. Thank you to our great friends at Journey Spice. Yeah, let's get to Bo Nix, man. As training camp starts officially on July 31st, the rookies report here relatively shortly. So summer almost over, and we're getting into some of the hype videos that happens around this time. So let's look at a Bo Nix hype video.
Right on, we were in Alabama in the southern heat for the summer, and this was just normal. Didn't know any better, but out in Colorado it's not this humid, so I don't feel like I sweat this bad. So when you get back here, like, I feel like I'm really training, really getting ready. I feel like the season's right around the corner when it feels like this. It's a good feeling. I feel like I put in work. I feel like it was a successful day. Sort of like the receipts are getting better. You know, you put in the work, you feel gross, disgusting after a lift, and I feel like you jumped in a pool. That usually means you did something.
Okay, well, all right. Bo's not necessarily the most eloquent guy in the world, but I think we get the point. And when we're looking at videos like that, we're seeing that Bo Nix ankle looks great. I mean, that is absolutely what to take away from that. Myself and Chad Brown will break it down in further detail tonight for Altitude Football at 6 p.m. So make sure you pay attention to that. So right on. Feeling good about Bo. Like to see the hype video. Like to see the ankle looking good. John Gruden was recently talking about the Broncos.
This is a very interesting offseason for Denver. Sean Payton shook up his staff, fired his offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi. Pete Carmichael, a longtime Sean Payton assistant, left the Broncos. He's the new offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. They gave Davis Webb a promotion. Davis Webb, he got some head coaching interviews. Sean Payton said, hey, you're going to be the coordinator. And he brought back Johnny Morton, which we've already talked about. But Davis Webb is not only going to become a first-time offensive coordinator, he's going to call the plays for Sean Payton. Sean Payton's my friend. I've been with him 100 years. I can't believe he gave up the play calling. And you talk about pressure. Say it with me, guys.
Pressure.
Pressure? I mean, here's a first-time guy calling plays. He's got a quarterback, Bo Nix, who's coming off an injury. They got the toughest schedule in the league in the first 6 games, and they got to work in Jalen Waddle, a new receiver. Say it with me.
Pressure.
That's a lot of pressure on a young offensive coordinator, but I'm sure he'll handle it.
You ever notice that John Gruden uses 20 words to say two? Anyways, yeah, I guess that's what's going on. I think it could all have been said within like 10 seconds, and if you're confused about why he gave up the play calling, then you really haven't been following the story very closely here in Denver. Okay, I understand that John Gruden is 3 dopes that stand off camera saying pressure, probably don't follow the Broncos that closely, but that's okay. Yeah, the reason why Sean Payton is having Davis Webb calling the plays is because Sean doesn't have it anymore. And if you read the Seth Wickersham article about Sean Payton, you'll quickly understand why. He's taken too long. For whatever reason, he's taking prescribed pills to go with his 10 Cokes, his dip, and he's loaded with indecision. where it didn't exist before. That's what's going on. And they had a very talented guy like Davis Webb that they were going to lose had he not been promoted somehow. Sean, what he got a new contract. John didn't mention that. He got a brand new contract, which gives him millions and millions more money. And he gets to be a CEO. They have a brand new facility that's being built. And you have Bo Nix, who looks great, basically in his prime. Probably right there, man. So it's a great situation for Sean Payton, but it wasn't great for him calling plays. It makes perfect sense. The question is, if things go sideways a little bit with the play calling, where does it go from there? But Sean will be in complete control of the team. I think there will be an interesting balance, but I'm not surprised that he gave up the play calling. He kind of had to. Training camp, not that far away. We'll be out there every single day. We love football, altitude football. Make sure you're paying attention. In terms of the World Cup, well, there was a Broncos and some Denver appearances. Peyton Watson was there with Michael Porter Jr. And look at Stiddy with the family out there for FIFA. Way to go, Stiddy. Hope you had a good time. You could make fun of Stiddy, but he is a multi-millionaire who made like $5-6 million last year. And that's who can afford to go to the World Cup, apparently. But congratulations to Spain. They weren't who I was rooting for. I like this photo. And Spain wins in a game that they completely dominated top to bottom. I mean, look at the stats here. Possession, 65% to 35%. The fact that Argentina did not even have any shots. They didn't have any shots on goal, period. But they didn't have any shots until it went to overtime. It was a complete ass kicking by Spain. And for Lamine Yamal, he's hanging out with his younger brother, which is such an awesome picture. Look at this little kid. I mean, come on, man. You don't get much cuter than that. But Argentina embarrassed themselves. And I was rooting for Argentina. Had a great time at the Old Town Tavern in Arvada. Was treated great by Mike and Amity and Cole. They were terrific. Had a blast. Thank you, guys. And Argentina just kind of embarrassed themselves. Even after the game, they weren't done embarrassing themselves. On the broadcast, the American broadcast was Latan, who announced that he was done being a broadcaster, which is pretty funny. And Terry Henry and Alexei Lalas. It was kind of mild criticism of Argentina. But if you go to the Europe broadcast, it was different.
As far as to say, Argentina were a complete and utter disgrace today, both with their performance and their antics. We expected the antics. We expected the thuggery. We expected the off-the-ball stuff. But we also expected a lot more on the ball. A lot more purpose, a lot more about their play. They were an utter shambles. They were disgusting, disgraceful. And yeah, I mean, I'm so pleased Spain won. And I could just see a scenario at the end there, but before Spain scored, that it was going to go to penalties or they were going to get a scruffy goal, Argentina, and win this. And Spain tried. They tried to make it a good game. They tried to get over the line. Their finishing wasn't quite great. Martinez made a lot of saves, but they were comfortable saves. But we know Argentina are not the greatest side they've ever been, but to put that kind of performance in a World Cup final, that negative, it was a disgusting performance.
We were talking.
Jeez, tell me how you really feel.
To say Argentina were a complete and utter disgrace today.
Goodness gracious. Well, yeah, it wasn't great. And I was rooting for Argentina. I was lucky enough to be in Seattle at the Queen Anne Beer Hall when they had that thrilling match against Cape Verde. I was also there when they played Egypt, and let's be honest, they probably shouldn't have got past Egypt, and England should be embarrassed. They went into a shell to lose to Argentina the way they did. Really, England is probably kicking themselves, and perhaps that's where some of the anger is coming from. And I love Messi, and I love the Argentinian fans, but what the fuck was that? That was terrible. I'll tell you what wasn't terrible. The halftime show wasn't terrible. The halftime show was fantastic. Now, FIFA president Giovanni is getting heat for everything. God, is he hated. Oh, my Lord. And sure, they Americanize things for profit. But do you really blame them? I mean, hydration breaks, what a joke. We're doing hydration breaks when we're playing inside? Okay. Clearly, it was a way to have 4 quarters instead of 2 halves to sell commercials. And it likely made hundreds of millions of dollars for the broadcasters that they did that throughout the Cup. And I would assume that will stay in the World Cup forever as long as Giovanni's there. There's too much money to be made. The overturning of the red card for Balogun was embarrassing. Should he have got a red card in the first place? No, I don't think so. But sometimes you have to live with bad things. Didn't matter anyways. Belgium embarrassed the U.S. in Seattle where I was there. And it was exciting. It was thrilling. The World Cup was awesome. But there were a couple of blemishes. And to have such a poor effort by Argentina and then be kind of ridiculous after the game, I don't know, man. Not great. Not great. Great World Cup, though. Loved every second of it, and we'll look forward to the next one as well. But again, we're talking about what, $18,000 to see a game? I don't know, man. I mean, there's something that's kind of insane. Who goes to these games? Who could actually afford it? Oh, yeah. Steady. Sorry, Siri. I said steady, not Siri. Anyways, the World Cup is at an end, and that's that. And congratulations to Spain. They were the better team. 7 clean sheets out of 8 games. Are you kidding me? The goalie didn't have to do a whole heck of a lot. They were the best team. They were the best team in the world. They've won every single championship you can imagine over the past couple of years. So they deserve to win this one as well. And I love how he described it like a scruffy goal. Argentina could have got a scruffy goal. And I was still rooting for it, Argentina, because I was around Argentinian fans and was the most fun of any fan base I was around while I was out there in Seattle. And we had a great time at the Old Town Tavern, for sure. It was great. But it was definitely split between Spain fans and Argentinian fans. And what I learned is it's just a little bit more fun to go to a place that's leaning heavily in one direction. And even if I'm at the Angry Beaver and Canada loses, or I'm in Seattle at Elysium and Sluggers, the 2 bars that I was at for the U.S. when they were playing Seattle against Belgium, and the U.S. lost, at the end of the day, the spirit of all kind of rooting together is pretty special. That being said, great time at the Old Town Tavern. No problem there. They were incredible hosts for us to watch the final. All right, going on to our guy, Hunter Goodman. The Rockies do lose 9-6. They lose the series to the Reds. But Hunter Goodman had 3 home runs.
This ball to center field. Well hit. Got a chance. There's number 3 of the day. 2-run shot. Hunter Goodman, number 30 on the season. Second 3-homer game of the year for Hunter. He did it up in Target Field in Minneapolis just a couple of weeks ago.
Man, he just spun this game around too. Rockies are within 4. The fact that this is for number 30, and check out the distance too. Going to center field, he knew it. Hunter's known every single swing today that it was a ball.
All right, that's pretty special, and I'm excited for Hunter Goodman. Way to go. Unfortunately for the Rockies, though, they remain in, last place at 40-61. So you got to pick up 23 wins, which is mission 63 to avoid losing 100. They are last in the National League. They are still ahead of the Angels by a couple of percentage points, and now they do trail the Royals. So they're the second worst team by a smidgen in Major League Baseball. They do cool things, but they still are losing games. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Not great. And they lose this series to the Reds. So they stay at home, though, and it's going to be hot, hot, hot. I give full credit to anybody who was hanging out in the sun to watch the Rockies yesterday. That was brutal. Washington Nationals are in for 3 games starting tonight, Tuesday, Wednesday. They have Thursday off, and then they travel to Milwaukee. Meanwhile, Summer League is over for your Denver Nuggets. Brazil, 18.7 points per game, 8.3 rebounds. Bryce Hopkins, 18 points a game, 6.5 rebounds. They equip themselves very nicely. Nuggets win 96-89. Neither of those players played, so those averages are through. Well, for Brazil, it was 3 games. Hopkins for 4 games. But they did win yesterday, 96-89. So good for the Nuggets. They went 3-2 in summer ball. And the best thing to come out of it was 2 guys that you think you may need this year played really well in summer ball. So that's kind of the bottom line there. So good for the Nuggets to get the W, and we're all kind of happy about that. Nobody got injured as far as I could tell. Hopefully there's not anything lingering going on. Sometimes that's happened in the summer, which has been a bit of a bummer. In terms of quirkier things happening, well, not quirky. The British Open was actually incredibly exciting. And Cam Johnson is one hell of a golfer. It was remarkable. Cam Young. I knew Cam Johnson. Sorry, my bad. Cam Young. Wrong sport. Cam Young, great golfer, American. And he was in at 9 under and had to wait for a couple of hours to see how things would finish up. And Ryan Fox, who has won a couple of times on the PGA Tour and sort of scuffled around. So he's a solid golfer. He's ranked 56th in the PGA Tour in terms of world ranking. So he's not some sort of complete nobody. But I doubt many people have heard of him who are just casual fans. And I guess I would consider myself, even though I love golf, and I do love watching golf, but I guess when it comes to the golfers in the world, I'm more of a casual fan. I'm the first to admit I don't watch live tour events or PGA Tour events. I watch majors and I watch bigger golf. So I guess that's where I am in the golf world. Well, Ryan Fox is low on my radar for those reasons, as I don't think he's finished inside of the top 20 at a major before, but he wins the British Open. He shoots 2 under, which is just kind of okay, but he shot 62 earlier in the tournament, and he birdies 18 to win the British Open. So, hey, congratulations to Ryan Fox. It was fun watching him do it. It came down to the last putt. He drills it. I mean, that's exciting. That's an awesome moment. But all the controversy happened with Bryson DeChambeau, and to a degree, Rory McIlroy talking about Bryson DeChambeau.
I think there's no doubt that he improved the line of his backswing. So, and again, it's like whether it was careless or whether it was intentional, I don't think it matters. Hopefully it was careless. But I think the 2-shot penalty was justified for sure.
What do you think of the scenes after? Obviously, you guys were delayed getting your tee times as well because of it all going on.
Late night for everyone. I won't pretend to be up here and defend Bryson. I'm not particularly fond of him. I think a lot of it's performative. I think a lot of it's for attention, and to hold the tournament hostage like that and have all of us, volunteers, players, everyone waiting on him to depart, I didn't feel like it was a great look.
Yeah, there's Rory. He doesn't like Bryson, but that goes back to the PGA, Live, all that stuff. And I don't know if there's any heroes in that. I tend to side more with the PGA. I think the Live thing is bankrolled by the Saudis, and but then again, there's Saudi money and everything. So I'm not a big Live guy, but I do like Bryson DeChambeau basically because of YouTube. Because I watched Break 50 and some of the other things, he's trying to hit a hole in one over his house. And I don't know, man. I just kind of dig it. I'm into it. So I'm a little of a contrarian here. I guess I probably shouldn't like DeChambeau because I side with the PGA over Live. But what can I tell you? I like watching his videos. Now, did he deserve the 2-stroke penalty? Hell yeah. Give me a break. He knew what he was doing. Give me a break. And the rest of the mugging for the cameras and pretending to do things and all that, okay, fine. I get it. But what do you think? He wasn't trying to push down the course? Come on, give me a break. He was. That's cheating. You can't do it. He deserves the 2-stroke penalty. And as it turns out, he flamed out on the last day anyways. He really wasn't in the conversation. So I still like his videos. I still find him entertaining. But he got caught. Hey, doesn't mean other guys shouldn't have got caught. Probably should have, if you look at it closely. But hey, man, you're Bryson DeChambeau. You're in contention at the British Open. There's going to be a lot of eyes on you, period. That's just the way it goes. So in terms of being performative and Rory can be a little performative too. Rory does a few things for attention, but, dude's Irish, so I like Rory as well. I like everything. It's kind of weird, right? Finally, your moment of zen comes with running a race, and this is really cool. The breaking the mile record is, first of all, the mile is hardly ever run because it's usually just 1,500 meters. But breaking the mile is pretty awesome.
Josh, well record ahead of you. 3:43.19, don't forget. Here he goes. I think he's going to do it. Keep going, Josh. Keep going, Josh. It's a world record. Get in. Get in. Oh, my word. He said I can do it. He said I will do it. I'm telling you I'm going to do it. I'm telling you when I'm going to do it. I'm telling you where I'm going to do it. And he's done it. Crikey.
That is awesome, man. I have been thrilled while it's kind of a lull in the American sports time. European, basically, sports, if we're going, and by the way, I'm all in on the Tour de France. And Tadej Pogacar is probably going to, today's the day off, but Tadej Pogacar is going to roll to his 5th win. Jonas Vingegaard, unfortunately, crashed with his Visma team yesterday. And so now the battle for the podium becomes more interesting. And watching Remco Evenepoel outduel Pogacar, who wasn't necessarily trying for the stage win yesterday, but still it presented itself. And you got Evenepoel racing past Pogacar at the end, which is actually kind of a shock in and of itself. I find it thrilling. I love the British Open, even though soccer was in America. Come on, man. It's a worldwide sport, but, it's predominated by Europe leagues. And now we have an event like this in track. I just love it. I love it. I don't know how you feel about it. And there's probably plenty of people that are just waiting to get back to, the Broncos and football. And I'll be excited when that happens too. But in terms of just being a sports fan, it's been fantastic. It's been incredible. I've had a good little vacation. I'm back on the radio today from noon to 3. I hope you listen then. I'm on with Mick Miller on Fox 31, just hashing it up about sports. And then it's Altitude Football with myself and Chad Brown at 6 p.m. So back into the mix. Vacation time is over. You take a deep sports talk breath, and it's from basically today until the final day of training of mandatory mini camp in June. So it's a long cycle in the sports talk world where I really just don't take vacation because I don't need to, I don't want to, and I love it. So here we go. I am so grateful that you're paying attention. We did see the radio ratings. There's a little this and that about it. But I am proud to be on the #1 sports talk station by a mile in the ratings that matter. And we all know in the business what ratings matter and what ratings don't. And if you don't, you don't. And if you do, you do. But the ratings that matter, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5 is #1 by a long shot. And I'm proud to be part of that team. I'm not going to try to, I'm not going to try to be like Argentina.
To say Argentina were a complete and utter disgrace today.